Alright, hey everyone, this is Ash. Welcome back to the King's Speech. So as promised on Saturday, we're getting around to some more videos today. I meant to get around to them yesterday, but I felt like taking a break before diving into these videos. So yeah, took a break yesterday, but we're getting back to it today. Unfortunately, it looks like there is no new Spy Family chapter, which is a little bit disappointing, but it's not a big deal. We'll get back to it again in another 2 weeks. I've got a couple of other videos coming out today, so that shouldn't be too much of a missed deal. So I just finished recording Akane. So like I mentioned in Saturday's video, today's plan is to get around to the next volume of Lazarus, as well as another volume of Yona. The volume of Yona will depend on timing and everything if I feel up to it. We'll definitely get around to Lazarus today because I've been looking forward to this for a while now. Can't wait to dive into this next volume, so super excited about that. But yeah, before we dive into it, as I've mentioned before, if you haven't already, please consider like, commenting, subscribing, all that good stuff. Especially if you enjoy my videos and you haven't done that already. YouTube's algorithm really does love it when you push those buttons, which in turn helps me out a lot with regards to promoting my channel and creating content. So any support with regards to that would be greatly appreciated. But without further ado, let us dive into it with Lazarus Volume 7. And I will go through the previously bit on this before we dive into it, because it's been a while since we've done the last volume. Well, we have nearly 5 years ago, at a formal meeting of the families, Malcolm Carlyle ordered his family's Lazarus, his daughter Forever, to execute her own brother Jonah and implicate their perennial rival Jacob Hawk. So began the Conclave War. Every ruling family on the planet aligned itself with Carlyle or Hawk in a years-long conflict of attrition. Unbeknownst to all but two of them, Forever let Jonah escape, her first act of defiance in the face of the neurochemical conditioning that had forced her unquestioning loyalty to family and father. When Jonah's twin Joanna took the place of their ailing father as acting head of family, she and Forever made a deal. Forever would help Joanna end the Conclave War, and in exchange, Joanna would help free her from her conditioning. In so doing, she shared the truth about Forever's creation and introduced her to the next iteration of the Carlyle Lazarus, nicknamed 8. Both Forever and 8, and those who came before them, were revealed to be the product of a genetic engineering project directed by Bethany Carlyle and James Mann, with each iteration trained for combat by Gunnery Sergeant Marisol Ocampo. Marisol became a party to this subversion. Bethany and James remained in the dark. During the course of the war, Carlyle was betrayed by its allies in the Moray and D'Souza families, and the prospect of Carlyle's survival looked grim. But Forever did as she had promised Joanna, vowing to wipe out their traitors' families. She killed the D'Souza Lazarus as well as Joaquin Moray, whose free will had been annihilated by the Moray family's programming. But now the clock is ticking. As the Conclave War reaches its end, 8 is scheduled to undergo the installation of her telemetry package, the same system that allows Forever's family to track and monitor her wherever she goes, whatever she does. To free herself, the time has come for Forever to do what was once unthinkable. Oh, I look forward to this so much. Yeah, Fracture Volume 7. I think it's the first time I'm also just holding a physical copy of this, because I always read it with the digital ones, but it's the first time I'm doing a physical, so definitely interesting. So our Fracture 2 Prelude Part 1. Are we fucking picking up with Jonah? We see November X64, the North Sea. I'm not going to bother reading off the coordinates. And you see a ship with HM 803 pulling in their catch. And you see this blonde woman on the deck going, "Hey." She looks over and goes, "Far, father. It's a Derek Noget Vandit, something in the water." Is that Dutch, I assume? I have no idea. That was just a complete guess on my part. And she goes, "Opa foran to grader till starboard. Off the plow, 2 points to starboard." I apologize if I'm completely butchering the pronunciation of that. Yeah, you see Jonah in his little orange suit floating in the water. And you hear, man overboard! And you see them grabbing him, taking him inside as they start stripping him. He's like, "Tog," I'm not going to bother pronouncing the thing. Let's go with the translation. Have get him undressed. It's like, is he breathing? Is he still alive? We have to warm him. Definitely hypothermic. He's soaked through. It's like, my God, what happened to him? He looks like he's been tortured. how long was he in the water? And you see that Jonah is indeed looking very, very pale, skin looking clammy and gray. And you see the blonde woman stripping down to her underwear. She goes, Soren, get a heating pack. Mads, come above and take the wheel. You hear her coming up. It's like, oh, he's cold as ice. She's apparently using her body heat to try and warm him up. And they're examining the orange suit that he was in. And you hear, I've turned his back to home. It's like, how is he? You hear, I think he's still alive, but he's terribly cold. And you hear, Father. And they see the symbol of the Hawk family crest on the suit. And you see later at Agar, family Bittner, population waste 1508. You hear the father saying, take him to our house, not the hospital, understand? Don't let anyone stop you. It's like he needs a doctor. It's like, what did you do with his clothes, the suit, all of it? And I think it's either the son or the others goes, it's still below. The father says, burn it. And you see back at the house, they've put Jonah under some covers. As you have it, that's as warm as we dare make him, Pernil. What he needs now is sleep. Like his eye, his hand, he's covered in bruises, Mama. It's not only from being in the water. Somebody hurt him terribly. And you see the blonde, what is her name? Pernil just looking at him with pity. And you see later as the men are all like docking the boat and getting everything ready, you hear Father. And you hear, good morning, Jens. Heading out early, I see, as a police officer's making his way over to him. He's like, good morning, Anders. Yes, we have a lot of fish still to catch. We're going to make quota. He's like, you've never let the family down so far. He's like, we try not to. He's like, I know you do. He's like, I'm hearing talk about the fish you pulled from the water day before yesterday. I'm hearing that this fish is staying in your home. You were going to report this, right? He's like, of course I was, Anders. Though I'm hopeful we can reach an understanding. And he goes, from a pillar of the community such as yourself, I'm sure we can. It's like, war has been declared, Jens. Bittner has broken with Hawk at long last. And while the fighting is a long ways off, everyone will be expected to do their part. We shall discuss just how you and your family can do yours when you return. Good fishing to you. And you see later that day, as Pernil is just keeping watch over Jonah, and you hear him like tossing and turning with his knife, and he's going, no, not again, no, not again, please, not again. And he wakes up with a start as she goes, it's all right, no one will hurt you here. And he asks, who are you? And she goes, Pernil Muller Jensen, who are you? He's like, Jonah Carr. He's like, Jonah Carr. He's like, you've been in my bed for 3 days, Jonah Carr. You were nearly dead when we found you in the water. Hypothermia. You need hot food and hot tea. And some clothes. And you see later that night as they're having a discussion around the family table. He speaks English? So he could be from Armitage or Hawk or Carlisle? And he's like, yes. He's like, we're part of Bittner like us. We're from North America. And you hear, it doesn't matter. Magistrate Anders stopped by the boat this morning. He had Magnus with him. The word is already spread. We're at war. We must hand him over. It's like, so we save his life only to let another take it? And it's like, Pernil, we don't even know who he is. He could be a spy. He could be a Hawk spy. He could be an enemy. He could... And you see Jonah walking into the dining room going, I didn't mean to interrupt. I wanted to thank you. It doesn't seem sufficient. I can't pay you. I don't have anything. But you saved my life. You clothed me. You didn't have to do that. I don't want you to suffer for that. And he heads outside. As Pernil's like, Jonah! It's like, Jonah, what are you doing? Where are you going? Jonah, come back! It's like, stop! And she follows him outside. He's like, where are you going? We're barely fit to walk. He's like, I know you're arguing about me. I don't understand Dutch, but it was indeed Dutch. He's like, we're Danes. We speak Danish. Okay, that's also on me. He's like, I don't want to cause trouble. I don't want that. I've caused enough of that. And she goes, you're going to cause more if you stand in the cold and pass out in the street. The magistrate already knows you're here. If he's coming, he'll find you anyway. At least you can be warm until then, right? And she sees that she takes him back to the house. And as they do, you see the mother taking off. Is that her wedding ring? She's taking off her. Yeah, it looks like she's taking off her wedding ring, hands it to the husband, and then goes talk to Anders. Oh, she's using that as a bribe. That might be what's happening. And you see back at the Bittner Magistrate's headquarters, you're an important man in this community, Jens. What you and your family say, what they do, people notice. And he's like, you're very generous, Anders, but we both know you are the voice of Bittner around here. He's like, I am, yes. And people do listen, some out of respect, some out of fear. But you they listen to because they trust you. That trust is worth a lot, especially now. He's like, and you have Jens going, he's nobody, he's not going to be trouble. He's like, I'm asking you not to. And he goes, a nobody you pulled from the sea, I should report him. I'd expect your full support in the community in exchange for this. No more reluctant support of Bittner. We're far away from the fighting. The war may never reach us, but if it does, and Jens goes, if it does, you will see me and my sons at the front of the line, Anders. And he goes, that's good for Bittner. Make it good for me. And you see Anders douching and taking out the ring, and he hands it over to him. And he goes, what is the name of this new member of your crew? And so he starts inputting in a fake ID form. He goes, Johan cares, like Johan cared. And you see a little montage of Jonah now helping to do work on the boat, getting his sea legs, integrating into the community. Oh, God. You see that there's a romance finishing between him and Peniel. Sorry, how does her name go? Hold on. A second, let me just go back here. Yeah, Pernil. Again, I apologize if I'm mispronouncing that. You have say Luca Rausling died in Corsica, if you can believe the news. So apparently we started the war as Bittner, we're occupied by Rausling, and now we've been liberated by Bittner again. And nobody in Agar noticed. It's like, fine by me. Let them fight their wars and leave us the hell alone. He's like, but there's a twist now, Mads. Because with Rausling gone, every other family's scrambling to grab their holdings. That's Jonah saying every other family's scrambling to grab their holdings. It's exactly what Jonah said. Which means Bittner will need more troops if they want to keep everything they just won. And you're Vaslovka. As Pillar's like, the Russians? It's like, they'll capitalize on it. Hawk will push them to take advantage of the situation. It's like, Hawk only wants to destroy Carlisle. The Russians don't care. They can't hold the territory, even if they take it. And Jonah goes, they won't want to hold it. They just want to make sure that Carlisle doesn't have it. And as Jonah heads outside with his drink, Peniel falls him and goes, is that where you're from? Carlisle? He's like, does it matter? Carlisle is a Bittner ally. And she's like, doesn't matter to me at all. Finish your beer. And you see them heading off. After they finish the drink, they head to the boat. He's like, all these months, you've never said anything about yourself. He's like, nobody asks. He's like, nobody will. My parents think you'll talk when you want to. My brothers too. He's like, you said it doesn't matter. He's like, oh, it doesn't. I'm just curious. Curious who did this to your hand. Who did this to your eye. Who hurt you and left you for dead. I think I've fallen in love with you, Jonah. And she reaches out and kisses him. And then they embrace. My God. This is going to end badly, isn't it? This feels like it's setting up for it to end badly. I don't know how I also feel about Jonah potentially getting a happy ending. We'll deal with that later. You see them later that night as they're doing it. She's going, Jonah, my love. And as he embraces, you see his tears streaming out of his eye. Oh, boy. Fracture 2, Prelude Part 2. You have December X plus 66, Agar, Denmark, family Bittner, population 506. And she's yeah. God. And it scratches out population waste 507. And you see a baby's been born. As you have Jonah, come meet him. Come meet our son. He's like, Pernil, he's as beautiful as you are. She's like, we need to name him. What shall we name him? Yeah, if you know my English is not so good, Jonah, please to say it again. He goes, we're naming him after you. He's like, Jonah. It's like, no, listen to me, Papa. Listen. It's like, My father, a piece of shit. You and Lena took me in, gave me shelter, gave me work, made me part of your family. If I can be a man like you, a father like you, I'll have done right. So his name is Jens, after the best man I know. After you, Papa. Goes then to my grandson, and to his father, and most of all, to our family, as they do a little toast. And you see March X67, and you see on the boat, you have tie us down. As Jonah's like, relax, Soren. I think I know what I'm doing by now. And he's like, only because you had a good teacher. He's like, yeah, me. And then Jonah's like, you see that? And then they see, don't know what they're seeing. There's a broadcast coming in. You have Get Papa. And you see to the withdrawal of our forces from North America. And while it pains us to leave our ally and friend Carlisle to continue the fight alone, our heart calls us home. Yeah, so you see a broadcast of someone in the town square, I assume. She goes, these lands, your lands, are Bittner's heart and soul, the bone and sinew of our family. Now we face nothing less than naked, unchecked aggression from Vaslovka in the east. An enemy without remorse who would lay waste to our fields, cities, and homes, who would feed our very children to their dragon. Rausling paid the ultimate price for their insult. We shall teach Vaslovka the same lesson. The need for soldiers is great. The need to support those soldiers is greater. I know that each of you, as have I and my daughters, will not hesitate to do what must be done. That's a weird sentence. I am Savara Bittner, and I'm proud to call you family. Now please, direct your attention to your regional magistrates for further instructions. Coming back to bite him in the ass. You hear Isabel, yes, Factory Fleet, Dearborn. Nels, Fishing Fleet, Esberg. Nadja, HPU, report to Hotel. Yes, my friend. Let us see here as he comes to Jonah and Co. Goes, Mads, you and Soren are to report to Hovelt for training. He's like, both of them? Could have been three. And he goes, could have been three of your children, Jens. The only reason Pernille isn't going to basic training is because of your grandson. Be thankful. And Jonah asks, what about us? And he goes, your disability disqualifies you from frontline service at the moment. You and your father-in-law will be assigned to one of the factory ships out of Theoborn. And he goes, I'd hurry home and make her goodbyes. You're expected to report tomorrow morning. It's like, Lucas, let's see. Yes, HBU training. You see later that night, you have a for how long? And Jonah's like 6 weeks. Mads and Soren, God only knows. It's like they make this war and we have to suffer for it. It isn't right, Jonah. It's like, I know. And you see later as they put baby Jans to bed and they're clearing out the dishes and they make love again. And Pernille says, take care of Papa. He's not as strong as he used to be. It's like, I will. I promise, Pernille. It's like, take care of yourself. The sea gave you to me. I don't want the sea taking you back. He goes, I'll come home. To you and our son, both. And you see it, Okay, apparently someone's watching a porn video. You're, baby. It's like, here we go again. Another speech from naughty Natasha. It's like, leave it on. More sex. More fucking. It's like, it would be so much better if you're here with us, you know. All you big, strong men and all you beautiful, sexy women. It's like, we could be having so much fun together. And you see down below in the bowels of the ship, you see Jens and Yona both just gutting some fish. And like a conveyor belt. So good, no. Instead, you're letting some other bitch screw you. Letting Savara Bittner stick it to you, and there you are asking for more. And who's banging her? Come on, boys and girls, you know the answer. You see, Malcolm Carlisle, that's who. So I have to ask, baby, why are you even doing this? Why are you spending your blood and sweat on leaders who call you waste? It's not like that over here, baby. Is this some kind of weird-ass Vasilovka propaganda? Yeah. It's like Hawk knows us. Hawk propaganda, of course. Hawk knows how to make you feel good, and Vasilovka knows how to treat you right. Vasilovka knows what you're worth, baby, and we always reward those willing to do the hard work. It's like, oh, yes, baby, like that. And you see again a montage of them like working, resting, working, resting. And you see that Jens is not able to take the exhaustion anymore. He's like, Jonah. It's like, Jonah, I can't. He's like, come on, Papa, just a little further. Get you some help. And he takes him to the sick bay, and you see, this must be Hawk's fucking done some shit. And you see the sick bay is completely crowded with people. And the nurse is like, there's no more room. And he's like, he's my father, you have to help. And she's like, there's nothing I can do. And she's like, over 2/3 of the crew. He's like, please, anything, anything. He's like, Captain informed me that the family taking us back to... It's like, you're not sick. He's like, doctor, please, doctor. And she's like, why are you not sick? He's like, just help him. And he's like, I can't. He's like, he's dead. Oh, God. And you see Jonah later that night as he's walking through the now empty kind of cafeteria area. And you hear the propaganda video still playing with you. Feeling today, baby? A little run down, maybe? A little under the weather? Or maybe you're just lonely. Vasilovka's friends with the great Dr. Hawk. We can cure. And then you see Jonah's grabbing a coffee pot, smashing it into the monitor. And you hear, this is speaking. We've just docked back in Theoborn. No one is to leave the vessel. The family has sent doctors. Once you've been cleared to by a doctor, you can disembark. Follow their instructions. And you see men in hazmat suits with guns walking in. And they just start shooting everyone. And you see Jonah going and hiding until he can make his escape. And he hides in a little like bunker hatch up on top. And then when everyone leaves, you see him like he's swum under the water and he swum back to shore out of the ship. And you see him walking through the town, which has been completely deserted. Biohazard stickers stuck up everywhere. Oh, god damn, man. As you see one even on his house. Oh, god damn, man. Not a big fan of Jonah, but this is brutal. And as he opens the door, like, Pernil? Lena? It's like, Lena. It's like, Mama. And you see that Lena has been completely emaciated by the disease. Sitting downstairs on the rocking chair, like, with a blanket. And as Jonah goes upstairs, like, oh, God. It's like, oh, God, please, 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 anything. I'll do anything. Please don't take her, too. And you see that Pernil has also succumbed to it. As Jonah just starts, like, tears streaming. And he hears crying nearby. Oh, my God. And you see that his kid survived. Probably because he has the immunities from Jonah that helped him. And he just goes and picks him up. And he's like, oh, it's okay, Jens. It's like, okay, it's Papa's here. It's like, Papa's home. And you see later more men in hazmat suits coming up to the house and just burning everything down. Oh, my God. And you see Jonah standing on the hilltop watching all this walking stick. He's got a determined look on his face. He's packed wherever he could with baby Jens and a little sling. Again, not the biggest fan of Jonah, but man, that was brutal. And you have Fracture 2, Chapter 1. You have how long should we give them? So as long as we can, ma'am. So you'll be able to cover for her. I think this is Joanna talking to Ocampo. And Ocampo's like, 8's telemetry package hasn't... What was it? Marisol. That was it. The 8's telemetry package hasn't been installed yet. So all I have to do is lie about where we've been and what we've been doing. And I've gotten pretty good at that. And Joanna's like, I think all of us have. Some more than others, perhaps. And Marisol's like, she won't give us away. She learns quick. Just like Forever. And you see that Forever's taking a walk with her mini-me. Is what do I call you? I mean, my name is Forever Carlisle. That's who I am. I can't call you by my name. That's just confusing. And older Forever's like, we share the name. It's ours. That doesn't mean it's who we are. We're not the same person. While we're identical in many ways, we are different people. And you see 8 going, that was going to be my next question. You can do what I do? And Forever's like, much of it I suspect, but I don't know everything you can do. They try to make us better each time, though who decides what better means is another matter. And 8's like, how many of us are there? It's like, just the 2 of us now. It's like, how many before? It's like, 6. I'm the 7th. You're the 8th. He's like, sometimes I get called Eve. It's like, so do I. I mean, 8 isn't a bad nickname. And if you knock it on the side, it's the symbol for infinity. I love how, like, Alder Forever just, like, calmly just walking, have, like, Baby Forever, like, skipping from rock to rock, and, like, leaping from, like, tree branch to tree branch, like, climbing on the trees, acting like a kid. It's little, like, it's little things like that I really like. And it's like, and that's pretty cool if you think about it. You can call me 8, but I get to call you 7. It's like, deal. And it's like, they made me to replace you, didn't they? It's like, yes. It's like, so you can die. It's like, we both can. It's like, I can't. I tried. And you see Forever going, here, I'll catch you as Baby 8, or 8 starts leaping off the tree branch he was hanging upside down on. It's like, thanks. It's like, sure. It's like, we're going to have to go back. I don't want to go back. It's like, I know. It's like, did they hurt you too? God, man, just punching me in the gut. It's like, all the time, inside and out. And 8's like, Beth has gotten so mean, and it's like, I know. And Father doesn't visit, and I've never even met Stephen or Mother, and it's like, I know. I get books, you know. Did you get books? The stories I read, and there these families in them, the way they treat each other. Families aren't supposed to treat each other like this, are they? And Forever goes, they're not your family. We are our family. As the sisters just hug. And Marisol's like, dawn soon. Joanne was like, I know. If they're not back soon, Marisol. And you hear, here we are. Sorry it took so long. We had a lot to discuss. And she's like, I bet. You okay, kiddo? 8's like, yeah, I think I am. For real. It's like, thank you, Joe. It's like, oh, hon, you're so welcome. I wish I could have done it sooner. And Forever's like, Joe, we need to get you back to center. And you see Marisol stamping out the campfire as she tells 8, if anyone asks, our cover is that we've been on wilderness survival training. Indicate you heard me, Forever. She's like, I heard you. It's like, nobody can know this meeting ever happened. And I mean no one. Not Bethany, not James, not your father. If they find out, all of us will suffer for it. Indicate you heard me. Forever, please indicate. As 8 goes, how many of us have you trained? And Marisol's silent before she goes, all of you. But how many is that? It's like, you're the 4th I've trained. And she just smiles and goes, and who's the best? Marisol's like, oh, you little punk. It's like, it's nice to see you smile again. It's like, here. She told me to give this to you once they left. It's like, did she say anything else? It's like, yeah, I didn't understand it, but she told me you would. She said to tell you Moscow rules. Is that some sort of Vaslovka thing? You see, back at Puget Sound, facility of the center, family Carlisle, population family 4, 2 permanent, population surf 124, domestic and security personnel. And you see a Carlisle family chopper setting down with Forever and Joanna coming back. And you see Malcolm just watching them like a fucking creep from up in his little window. And you hear, I try to never second guess you on these things. But this seems, it seems risky, Forever. And you see at a little military board meeting, Forever's like, of course it's risky, Joe. I'm sure General Valeri would agree that any military operation is going to be by definition. And he's like, I like it. It's bold as hell. It's precisely why I don't. I agree with Head of Family Commander. You're needed on the Hawk front, not engaging in a covert against the D'Souza and Moray families. It's like, so we just grind out the conflict, Rachel? This works will cripple Hawk in the Americas. His European and African allies won't be able to assist. It'll finally bring him to the table. And it's like, I don't want him at the goddamn table, Diego. I want him on it in goddamn slices. And Joanna's like, enough, thank you. When we have the room, please, I'd like to speak to my sister alone. And Joanna goes, sometimes I wonder if I should order the two of them to pound it out and get it over with. Though it's probably not a good idea. And Forever's like, never mind, also entirely inappropriate. It's like, that too. What's this really about, Forever? And she says, it's what General Valeri said. It's a gambit, yes. It's bold, but if it works. And Joanna's like, no, I may not be a tactical genius, but it seems to me the daggers could do this without you. So what's this really about? And Forever's like, it's about keeping a promise. It's like, how long would you need to prep? It's like, Major Darnell and I have the scenarios prepared for both assaults. You give me 12 weeks, we can give you the victory. And Joanna's like, 3 months. All right, little sister. Let's see if you can end this war. And you see again a montage of Marisol looking at the little USB drive that Forever gave her. As well as, I assume, what is Dagger training? Yeah, you see more training, more experimentation, some VR training. You have a how's it look? Forever, indicate you heard. It's like, I heard. And you see the Southern Sierra Nevadas family compound Sequoia. You have, they just started the shift change. Let's do it. And Marisol's like, it's not the doing it that's the point of concern, Eve. It's the part where we do it without anyone knowing that we've done it. It's like, how long we got? Not long enough to talk about it. There, okay. Grab the bypass, the ones with the green wires. Clip onto the feeder there. Good. Try to bypass the alarms. You hear a weed as alarms going off. And you have, for God's sake, what? You have, sorry to disturb you, Dr. Carlisle. We've had an anomaly in Zone Kappa Kappa 08 specifically. So what kind of anomaly? It's like, hard to tell. Something with the electrical. It's like a fire? It's like, no, nothing like that. It was just a blip. Honestly, I almost didn't bother you. But protocol says notify you, Dr. Mon, or Gunnery Sergeant Ocampo of anything anomalous in Kappa. And since you're top of the list, and Bethany's getting out of bed, going, no, you did the right thing. Thank you, I'll take care of it. You have a thank you, doctor. And you see James just trying to like push her Paula back into bed. It's like, James, stop. He's like, it was a blip, Beth. You want to get out of bed for a blip? He's like, no, but one of us has to. And I'd like to find you still in my bed when I get back. So I'll go take a look, and you can go the next time. And he's like, deal. And you see how she's putting her higher up into a bun. Did you do? I didn't do anything. It's like, don't lie to me, kiddo. It's like, I'm not. I swear, Marisol. The post just kind of freaked out. It woke me up. You're hi, Beth. As Beth makes her way into 8's room where Marisol's apparently chewing her out. It's like, Dr. Carlisle. It's like, we're up a bit early. So this wouldn't have anything to do with the call I just got, would it? And you see 8 looking all sullen going, I didn't do anything. So, why do I find that hard to believe? You have Princess Die. You see is a Game Hub title, popular title, with tags of blood, gore, violence, survival, horror. And you see a little crack in the screen. Beth's like, where is it? It's like, where's what? And then she looks under the covers and she sees a little VR headset and she drags it out and goes, this. It's like, Eve? It's like, I assume you threw it at the screen for some reason? It's like, yes, Beth. It's like, how long were you playing? It's like, not long. It's like, how long? It's a couple of hours, maybe. It's like, for fuck's sakes, Eve. It's like, it's alright, Marisol, I've got this. You've got designated game time for a reason, Forever, and that time is not when you're meant to be sleeping. Aside from what these games do to your dopamine and serotonin levels, you need your sleep. You're a growing young woman. Your body needs to recover and rest and grow. You understand me? It's like, yes, Beth. And she looks properly chastised. She goes, good. Happens again, you lose your gaming privileges. So don't do it again, alright? It's like, I won't, I promise. It's like, good. Since everyone is up, we should all get started with our day. Cardio endurance test is scheduled for 0840. I'll see you both then. And as she walks out, H is like, was Beth just nice to me? And Marisol's like, yeah, she was. She's apparently all suspicious about that. And you hear Phobos Protocol, Rune Decept. You have parse, message start. Okay, so I think we got it set up, but you'll have to let me know if it works. 7. You have 8, I confirm. Like, oh, it's going to be like that, huh? Okay, Gabe. And you hear, who's Gabe? So Gabe isn't Gabriel Walker, Rock McKenzie's controller, Strike Force, Echo, guys a total by the book type. It's like, you're talking about a show on the Post, yes? It's like, do not tell me you've never seen Task Force Echo. It's like, I have not seen Task Force Echo. There are matters we need to discuss. It's like, roger that, but only if I can educate you on what you're missing out on later, okay? It's like, we are very different people, I think. So apparently you have, so they've set up the bypass as a way, or the game thing is a way to set up a bypass so that it looks like 7 can talk with 8. Da da da. It's like, well, duh, you said we were. What do you want to talk about? It's like, I have a question for you first. Have you thought about what I told you? It's like, pretty much non-stop, yeah. It's like, and? It's like, and I think it's pretty fucked up. I don't want to believe it if I'm honest. I don't want to believe everything you told me. I don't want to believe that we're nothing but slaves. I don't want to believe that all of them, every last one of them, has lied to me my whole life. I don't want to, but I have to. Just do me a favor, Seven. Never lie to me. Oh, God, poor baby 8. You see her lying in bed as, tears are streaming down her face. And you have Forever going, I will never lie to you. I promise. And you see her and her troops flying out of the jet with their wing packs. And you see Malcolm walking down to the briefing military room. You have North 2, Tango down. Blue 1, 2 on the move, Spitfire cover Gorgon. You have Tango down. Spitfire on me, Spyglass overwatch. Tango down, advancing. You have Tango down. Blue Wolf check, Black 1. Gorgon is engaging, I have eyes. And you hear Malcolm going, why didn't... Joanna just shusses him and goes, Dad, shut up. You have 2 tangos down. Tango down, 3 tangos down. Gorgon is closing on target Alpha. I have lost visual, stand by. Gorgon, Spitfire, what is your status? Repeat, Gorgon. You have Gorgon, actual mission accomplished. And you have General, it's like, on it. Mercury, actual, ask Gorgon to list and confirm. Repeat, list and confirm. You have yes, sir. You have Gorgon, Team Razor Blue. For Mercury, actual, list and confirm. Repeating to Gorgon team for Mercury, actual. You have yes, I heard you. Gorgon, actual to Mercury base, I confirm as follows. Target Bravo, Junie D'Souza is dead. Target Charlie, Rodrigo D'Souza is dead. Target Delta, Tiago D'Souza is dead. Target Echo, Maiza D'Souza is dead. Target Alpha, head of family, Remigio D'Souza is dead. D'Souza is extinct. Oh, those fuckers deserved it. Yeah, Mercury base confirms. Family above all. Yeah, family above all. It's like, you two got it from here, Admiral? He's like, oh, I think we can handle it from here, ma'am. It's like, good. And you see Joanna just walking out past Malcolm as he just stands there silently before he walks out as well. And she's like, pour you a drink? And he goes, it depends, I think, on what we are celebrating. And she goes, I heard Mom came to visit you. He's like, I think I would like a drink. He's like, thought you might. And then they toast each other with family above all. And Malcolm says, go ahead, take the seat. Killing every D'Souza doesn't entitle you to that chair. I certainly don't know what does. And Joanna goes, you think this is about trying to earn your approval? I'm trying to end the goddamn war you started. And he's like, Jacob Hawke started it. She goes, that's the story. Sometimes I wonder. Because there is a plan, isn't there? There always has been your plan. It's like, I've made no secret of that, only of what the plan is. And she goes, and am I doing my part, Father? Is Forever doing hers? Have we danced well on your strings? He goes, you're angry and I understand why. It's like, do you? I've had blood on my hands before. It's like, not like this. Never like this. It doesn't wash off. It never will. Moray will move to fill the vacuum left by D'Souza. Whatever you and Forever have planned, I suggest you do it soon. You're holding back, damn it. Stop holding back. It's like, I don't actually want to hurt you, Mar. And you see Marisol's wearing, like, I assume some kind of breastplate. And she and Forever are sparring with, she and 8 are sparring with real swords. And Marisol's like, I'm not wearing this armor for show. It's like, hey, come on. And you see that Marisol's pressing the assault. Ace just defending. It's like, it's practice, remember? It's like, no, this is training. Practice teaches you to lose. Marisol just elbows her. It's like, you train to win. It's like, ow, Marisol. It's like, stop. It's like, to survive. Or else you're just another corpse. And you see her just like pressing this thing as she does an overhand that Forever 8 stops. Like, damn it, I said stop! And she lashes back, completely cuts through Marisol's sword and cuts a little slice under her eye. God, and you see as James is watching the little readouts from the train, he goes, God damn. Bethany's like, she went off the chart. She literally went off the chart, James. It's like, it didn't break a sweat while doing it. I think we need to talk about the surgery. And he says he's fixing up Marisol's like, hold still. He's like, it's just a scratch, James. He's like, it's a scratch that almost took your eye. It's like, there. Put some pressure on it. I'll get the dermal. It's like, I don't know, James. Ideally, we'd wait until later in the growth cycle. It's like Forever took the package when she was 14. Ada'll be 15 soon. And if the strength is indicative, her other assessments are going to accelerate as well. If she's starting to accelerate regeneration as well, so the surgery will be a nightmare, yes. Where is she now? I was like, in her quarters. I was going to go check on her. I expect she's upset about what happened. It's like, for the one of us who isn't the geneticist, we're talking about what precisely? And Beth is like installing her telemetry package. It's like, my memory is that's a major surgery. Beth's like, correct. It'll need Joe's approval and probably Father's as well. Right, I'll set up a meeting to discuss. Not a word to her about this in the meantime. And you see at Lomas de Chapultepec, Mexico City, Family More. Yeah, movements along Baja with the sub-hunters. And continued troop buildup along the Lone Star border. They won't attack from the Pacific. They wouldn't dare. Like, it's a feint. Carlisle will come from the north. They're just waiting for us to commit troops to claim D'Souza's loss. Yeah, I can't speak to the tactics, Brian. Only the intelligence. And the intelligence indicates an imminent attack. It's like, from the north, Alejandro? It's like, yes, Uncle Edgar. It's like, no, that makes no sense. Too much effort for too little gain. For lack of a better phrase, it's not cost effective, not even for Joanna Carlisle. Brian is correct, it's a feint. But they have to know that D'Souza will keep... Here, Marta, ven acá. You see, Marta... Oh, it's been so long since we had Family More, I can't remember who's who in relation to whatever. You have, ¿so dónde vas? It's like, se me antoja un paseo antes de dormir, mama. It's like, is it nada más un paseo? It's like, mama? You hear, leave our daughter alone, Ana Maria. She wants to go for a walk, let her walk. It's like, it's not Marta's walking I object to, Edgar. It's who she's been walking with. He's like, as long as they're not supposed to be on watch, it is not a problem. Our soldiers should get to see their beautiful princess. It will inspire them. He goes, te quiero mucho, mi preciosa. It's like, te quiero mucho, papa. Yeah, she's getting a reputation, Edgar. The way she dresses in front of them. And you were such a saint at her age. It's like, we can get back to the point, papa, please. We should take advantage now. Well, Carlisle thinks we're distracted. And you see Marta going outside. Oh, is she working with Carlisle? Oh, shit, hold on. And she's walking by the soldiers that are doing pasting at the guards, and you see that they have like a missile launcher outside as well. Oh, was this Joaquim's sister? Because you see her pulling out the phone, the screensaver is her and Joaquim. And you see her walking up to the men with the missile launchers going, Acelino. It's like, Marta? It's like, te quise ver. It's like, estoy de turno. It's like, así no. Mi has hecho falta. It's like, vamos, güey. ¿Tú le dirías que no? Estoy cumpliendo con mi deber a la familia, Sandro. And you see Acelino. And you see that she has... Yeah, she unzips her jacket and she's got a handgun in the waist of her jeans. You hear, Subertudo, cabron. What the hell is going on? Oh, she distracting him, trying to distract him with a hookup. Interesting. As soon as says Puerto Cabron, you see, yes, the dagger sneaking up behind him, jabbing a sword through him. And they break into the monitoring room, shoot down more of Morai guards. And you see that the alarm's been set off as you have Gorgon, drop bear, go, go, go. And you see they've killed the guard standing watch outside the Morai family little dining area. And as Forever walks in, she goes, I am Carlisle, Mr. Moray. These are my words and not the words of my father. She just guns down all the guards coming down to help Moray. She goes, not the words of my sister. Moray's strength is broken. This is Carlisle's message to Moray. There will be no reply. Which of you did it? Which of you stole Joaquim's soul from him? Or was it all of you together? And you see Marta going, oh, no, it's not Marta. What was the wife's name? Ana Maria. Ana Maria going, a necessary decision for the good of the family. He was a tool, not a man. His use was to serve Moray, nothing else. Just as your use is to be a slave to your father's vision. Did you have feelings for him, Carlisle, bitch? Did you imagine the man behind the machine? Did you wish to rut and breed as a litter of pups with him? A Lazarus has only one purpose, little whore. to die for their family. And you see one of the guards snuck up from behind them. As he lets loose around, you hear the other guy go, Brian, no! As he shoots, the shots take out both Anna Maria and Edgar. And he's like, adios, no. He's like, mama, papa. He's like, Brian's like, estupido. And you see Carlisle just going behind her. She puts a sword to his throat and goes, and here is your moment. You can have what you've always wanted. Look at them. They're suffering, Brian. Put your poor mama and papa out of their misery, and you can be Morey. Yeah, Brian, no! Oh, God, as he just lets loose another round and takes out the rest of his family. Oh, that was brutal. So brutal. God. And you see that he's just completely dead behind the eyes now as he goes, Morey's dead. Long live. And Carlisle Forever just slits his throat and drops him. And she walks into the church where, so Marta did take out the guard. She lured in there. And Forever says it's done. And Marta's like, almost done. I would do it myself, but I fear for my soul. I know it's absurd. Perhaps I simply lack the courage. And Forever's like, Miss Morey. It's like, there's no argument, Commander. This must end, and it must end with me. I betrayed my family to you for what they did to my cousin, not the sister. My father, he murdered Joaquim's father, his own brother. And so it goes, back to Macau, and it will never end. It will never end until the families end. Let Morey become extinct. It's like, Marta, if you will not do it for me, do it for him. Oh. And you see that Forever did indeed honor her request. And as you can walk away, she has a look of regret on her face. I'm trying to see. Alright, we will see, because I don't want this video to go overly long. We're already at about 45 minutes or so. So depending on how long this chapter takes and how much is left, I might make this into 2 parts. But we'll see what happens. So yeah, Readthrough to Chapter 2 is you have Farmhold 709, Heartland Ayuntamiento, Family Hawk. You hear make lines as you sing all together. Give thanks for his gifts to us all. Become as light as a feather. Sing unto Father as the night falls. Work long and hard for the doctor, our keeper. Protected, he cares for me and you. That was lovely. What beautiful sound to give up to our beloved healer. And you see, let's do a spooky one while Theodore and Franklin hand out everyone's blues. And you see these people dressed up in like overalls in the farm singing, New and old soldier that fought in the war. If they're not dead, they're still fighting some more. Forever she came to the man at his post. She said, I've come for the folk you say you love most. The man took his gun and the man took his reds. And he turned to the monster and said, I'm not dead. And he fired and he scraped and he took her in the heart. And she laughed and for that gave the man a head start. Lazarus rising over the hill. It cannot die, but oh, it can kill. Oh, shit. And you see the lead singer just stopping as Forever, I assume Forever starts walking into the barn. There ain't a one of us bound to survive at the hands of a killer, not truly alive. And you see all the farm hands just panicking. And it's like, help me, great healer. And Forever goes up to him and goes, I am Forever Carlisle, and I'm sent by my sister. I am to speak with Dr. Hawk. Tell him I am here. And as she runs out, Forever just rights up the bench that tipped over, sits down with a sigh. You see Puget Sound, the center. Have idea how much longer it'll be? It's like, I don't know, Stephen. It's like, you've been in touch with Sequoia? I'm getting telemetry updates from Beth every 15 minutes. Copies to Kopolov immediately, please, Veronica. It's like, his daughter's birthday tomorrow. He asked me to remind you. It's like, right, fuck. It's like, hey, Stephen, what's a good gift to send Tatiana Kopolov for her 28th birthday? It's like, are you asking me because I'm gay or because I've got good taste? It's like, we do not reinforce outdated and reductive stereotypes in the Carlisle domain, Stephen. The last person I bought a birthday present for was Jonah. And I don't see Tatiana Kopolov thanking me for an 8-ball of Morey cocaine and an orgy with stars from the Post. And he's like, especially since there is no more Morey cocaine. Does that make it Carlisle cocaine now? It's like, I've got a meeting tomorrow to discuss precisely that question. It's like, you could just burn it all, Joe. This waiting is killing me. She goes, well, know when we know, big brother. Nothing else we can do right now. He's like, it's just nerve-wracking waiting to find out if Hawk will. And you hear, Joanna, we need to speak right now, as Malcolm interrupts the meeting. And she goes, I'll let you know as soon as I hear anything, Stephen. Give my love to Rehan. It's like, talk to you later. And she goes, we'll do the rest in the morning. Can you have the kitchen send some coffee up, please, Veronica? And you should get some sleep. It's like, of course, Miss Carlyle. It's like, Mr. Carlyle, sir? It's like, do you want to sit down? Or it's like, God damn it, Joanna. You do not make decisions like this without speaking to me first. I should have been consulted. She goes, no, damn it, Dad. You can't keep doing this to me. Either I'm head of the family or I'm not. Which is it? And you see them just exchanging glares. As she goes, it's been 2 months since Moray fell, Dad. Vaslovka's occupied in Western Europe and Martins is tied up along the Med. If there's ever been a chance to end the war with Hawk, it's now. He's got to want it over as much as we do. He has to. And you see Malcolm just watching to the window as he's contemplating. And he goes, you have no idea what Jacob Hawk wants, Joanna. He's like, but you do? Then tell me, goddammit. And you hear Beth chiming in with it's quite a center. Have an update for you, Joe. Moving into hour 7. No change in Forever's position or status. What are they waiting for? As Malcolm walks out of the boardroom. And you see... assume that's Hawk troops outside. Have set up a perimeter with tanks and as much firepower as they can bring. As Forever just kind of chilling. And you see them bringing in a projector. So you're here, right here, quickly. And then one of the men from outside just gives like a little thumbs up to the presenter. Your father protect me. And you see them shining a light on the light of the projector, which hits Forever straight in the face. You have the great healer will speak to you now. Tell him no lies. Oh, she's saying the great healer will speak to you now. Tell him no lies. And she just runs out of the barn. You're Miss Carlyle. This is a pleasant surprise. Short hair doesn't suit you. Your mother couldn't pull it off either. And Forever's like, Doctor, I'm here to... It's like, I know why you're here. My only question is in the details. Cessation of hostilities or unconditional surrender? It's like, you'd surrender unconditionally? It's like, don't be absurd. Even if I wanted to, I couldn't, and I don't want to. It's like, why not? It's like, my citizens would never accept it. Do you mind if I walk? At my age, I need to stretch my legs. So a ceasefire to begin with, leading to negotiations regarding an end of hostilities. And she goes, you'll negotiate on behalf of your entire coalition, Vasilovka and Martins? And he's like, fuck Vasilovka and Martins. This is about Carlyle and Hawk. To hell with the rest of them. So terms. There will be no conclave as I will speak for myself, none other. And she goes, very well. My sister will undertake. It goes, and your father. He's like, oof. As he's stretching out his back, it's like, Doctor, my sister is head of family. He's like, in name, certainly. I will agree to a ceasefire right now, negotiations to follow. But your sister must attend these talks as well as yourself, your father, and Abigail, your mother. Is this going to be some love triangle bullshit? Wait to see. You see Forever reporting what he said back to Joanna. She goes to report to Malcolm. He goes, he's agreed, but only if your mother and I are present. Correct? And she's like, and Forever. You knew he'd ask for this. He's like, God damn it, I'm so tired of it. I am not omniscient despite rumors to the contrary. I am not all-seeing and all-knowing. I calculate odds, I discern patterns, I read the table, and I place my bet. And I'm gifted enough in my readings that I win more often than I lose. And she's like, but it's more than that, isn't it, Dad? You make it sound so academic, so sterile, so objective. But we both know you load the fucking dice. He's like, of course I do, Joanna. I play to win. Now, shall I inform your mother her exile is ended, or shall I leave that honor to you? I feel like I should wait till the end to get through this, and I feel like I now cannot stop no matter how long this video goes. And you see back at the Sequoia compound, you have Dr. Carlyle, got a moment? And Bethany's like, Marisol, certainly, come on in. This is a surprise. Normally I'm the one who has to go to you. Everything all right with 8? Look, she's doing great, but yeah, this is about her. I tried asking James, he said to check with you. It's like expert buck passing from Dr. Mon as ever. So he's had a lot of practice, over 6 decades worth. What can I do for you? So I need to know when you're going to be installing 8's telemetry package. I have to adjust her training schedule around the surgery, the recovery, so on. And Beth's like, wasn't a problem the last time, was it? It's like, last time we weren't at war. It's like, rumors that it's ending soon, but fair enough. We're scheduled for mid-September, so 8 weeks off. It's like, alright, that's more time than... It's like, not so fast, Gunnery Sergeant Ocampo. You're forgetting the stepping down. We have to adjust 8's regimen in advance of the surgery. And she's like, you didn't for Forever's procedure. And it's like, 8 is not forever, Marisol. You know that. To begin with, her healing is quicker and far more efficient. She's the next generation version. She benefits from improvements over her predecessors in every way. And Marisol's like, so what are we talking about? Surgery mid-September, building a buffer. We should start stepping down her meds next week. Shit is moving fast. And you see back in Forever's room, she's looking at the message she was sent all those ages ago with, he is not your father, this is not your family. Whoops. You hear a ding ding and an enter. It's like, Marisol, caught me as I was just leaving. Should have left for center 15 minutes ago. And Marisol goes, they're prepping the telemetry package, Eve. She's got a week before they start adjusting her meds for it. That's 1 week before the point of no return. It's like, does she know? It's like, did you? It's like, no. There's your answer. It's like, we're running out of time. It's like, I know, fuck. How much leave you got banked, Gunny? And you see outside of the Carlisle jet, you hear a, how's it taste, Malcolm? Your liver, I mean. It's like, such a lovely greeting, Abigail. And here I am waiting for you. It's like our relationship in a nutshell. It's like, wasn't always thus. As he has her boarding the plane, Malcolm asks, coming? And Abigail's like, is she joining us? It's like, Joanna, you mean? It's like, you know who I mean. It's like, yes. Again, I'm getting more certain of my theory that Abigail's DNA was used as the base for Forever. We'll see if I'm right. And you see on the plane, Joanna's like, Mother? It's like, hello, Joe. It's like, you look well. It's like, thank you, Mother. You do too. It's like, I look the same, Joe. That is not the same as looking well. She glances over, she sees Forever, and she goes, Forever? It's like, it's nice to meet you, Mother. And she goes over and she finally puts down her hood. She like reaches out to hand, like cradle her face. And she's like, it's nice to meet you too, Forever. You see Forever just starts tears streaming down her face as Malcolm's like, ahem, we should get going. You see, so how was it? Did you make it? It's like, you have to answer my question before I answer yours. It's like, it was excellent. It was really good, Beth. It's like, good? And yes, I did make it. It's like, I just wanted to do something nice for us. It's like, what? It's like, I'm just thinking, wondering really. It's like, about what happened to bring out this new you? You've been a different woman these past couple of months, Beth. Don't get me wrong, I like it. I like it a lot. It's just out of character. It's like, yes, well, no, actually. More like the way you were when we first met, before any of this. It's like, that was a long time ago. It's like, it was. It's like, my father's dying and I can't stop it, James. The treatments aren't taking anymore. I don't know why. But if they're not working for him, it's like, then what about the rest of us? It's like, yes. One of the things death gives us is purpose. It demands to know what we've done with our lives, who we've been. I looked at who I've been. This woman trying to fill the hole my mother made when she left us. And I didn't like myself one bit. I don't know how much time is left, not for me or you or anyone on longevity. I just know that I want to be happy how I spent it. And you see, Garden Island, Lake Michigan, you have family not applicable. It's like, so here we are. And it only took us half a century to get here, give or take. Funny how time passes, isn't it? What it does to memory. So much fades in time. Do you really remember breakfast yesterday, last week, last year? I don't. I remember emotion acutely, however. I retain the strangest things. The kind word absently dropped when I was a child, the casual insult absently delivered when I become a man. The big things too, of course. Love, hate, well, some of it at least. I find I'm remembering many things right now. It's like, you have come to discuss an end to the war. We will come to that in time and what I want in exchange. A small thing when all is said and done, I think. And you see inside this little wooden lodge they're meeting with Hawk. So yeah, did you envision these days all those years ago, Malcolm? Did you conceive of it in Macau or before that even? And Hawk goes, I think it was before. I think it was when you met her. And Joanna's like, Dr. Hawk, it's been a very long time. Thank you And he goes, "It is good to see you again, Abigail." What a fucking dick. He goes, "Time has been kinder to you than it has to me, I think." She goes, "On the outside, perhaps, Jacob. It is good to see you too." And she goes and kisses him on the cheek. He goes, "We're always the kindest heart of us, all of us, Abigail." And Malcolm goes, "We're here, Jacob. Spring your trap and let's be done with it." He's like, "And you accuse me of being overly dramatic. If this is a trap, Malcolm, you laid it, not me." And you hear, "There are no troops hiding in the water. There's no poison hiding in the food. Just myself, the twins, and 2 of the committed, devoted in service to attend our needs. The twins will get you settled. The accommodations are modest. I trust you don't mind. Once you refresh yourselves, we can share a meal. And then to bastardize the bard, we can sit on the ground and tell sad stories of the death of kings. Or at least, of the death of my sister." And you see Palo Alto Pacific Domain, Surf Academic Housing, Family Carlisle. You see Michael working on something as he goes, "Coffee, that'll help." And as someone sneaks up behind him and covers his mouth and goes, "Gotta be quiet, Dr. Baird, very quiet. You know who I am?" He's like, "Oof." It's like, "She sent me, do you understand?" It's like, "You mean?" He's like, "Don't say the name. Nobody can know I was here. She sent me because she trusts me. She sent me because she trusts you. She needs your help." It's like, "What can I do?" You see later that evening as Abigail's standing outside at the railing watching the sunset. She's coughing into a handkerchief and she goes, "It's all right. Come join me." As Trevor comes out and she's like, "Are you all right?" It's like, "No, but I continue to live anyway." And she sees she's coughed up blood into the hanky. It's like, "It's quite beautiful here. Memories of a bygone age." It's like, "You should ask." It's like, "About what?" It's like, "About everything." It's like, "We look alike." It's like, "Family resemblance." It's like, "Not like this." "No, not like this." I knew it. I knew it. It's like, "How much of me is you?" It's like, so the secret is not such a secret to you, at least. Did you figure it out, or did someone tell you? And she's like, "I had suspicions. Jonah confirmed them. Joanna told me the rest, or at least says she did. Showed me the room full of my parts." It's like, "What does she want in trade?" It's like, "My trust." "Did you give it?" "I gave enough. You didn't answer my question." And she's like, "You didn't actually ask one, dear. I'm a scientist. Precision matters." It's like, "Fine. Why do we look so much alike?" It's like, "Because you're made of me." I freaking knew it! I knew it! Your base genetic structure, the scaffolding, if you like, is me. I freaking called it! In one sense, you're absolutely my daughter. In another, you're absolutely me. Now my question. Tell me about my son. How did Jonah die? And forever silent before she goes, "He didn't. As far as I know, he's still alive. I haven't looked. I haven't dared." And they're both silent for a second before Abigail goes, Oh, Malcolm, you absolute bastard." So he doesn't know you disobeyed him? It's like, nobody knows. He thinks I killed Jonah. He thinks I did what I was told. Like his good little girl. And Abigail tears up and she's like, "Then you can lie to him, which means you can lie to all of them. Oh, you are a good girl forever. You're a fucking miracle as I always hoped you would be. This is important. Why didn't you kill Jonah? What stopped you?" She's like, "I don't know. I've killed so many. Jonah wasn't the first to beg for his life, but maybe he was the first to tell me the truth. He asked for my forgiveness. He swore he would be my brother. He swore he would be my family, not just in name, but in truth." And she hands out the phone with the message saying, "Did you send that?" And it's the message like, "He's not your father." It's like, "No." It's like, "Somebody did. Somebody else knows." Abigail goes, "I don't know how much time we'll have together. I don't know how what happens here next will end. You have always been the key to Malcolm's grand plan forever. It's always been about you, what you do." It's like, "Me or us?" Okay, I usually would not do this, but I'm gonna throw out a theory before I get any further in this because I want to see how close to it I am. But this feels very much like the telemetry, the installations, everything else feels like a way to transfer consciousness from one body to another in the hopes of achieving immortality. that's what it sounds like to me. That's why they're experimenting with Forever. Why Malcolm's so concerned about her, like being his daughter and all that, etc. Feels like they're trying to find a way to perfect how to move consciousnesses from one body to the other, because that means you effectively would become immortal. Because again, if you can regrow your limbs, regrow your limbs, regenerate, heal, all that stuff. If anything happens to one body, if you can just upload consciousness into another one, you'd effectively be immortal without having to ever age or die. So I wonder if that's the end goal of Malcolm's plan with this. We shall see how close to that I am. She goes, "You've always been the key to Malcolm's grand plan Forever. It's always been about you, what you do." She's like, "Me or us?" It's like, "You. Not the ones who came before. Not the ones who came before you. Not the ones who may come after. 6 iterations would give us you. He knew it. I knew it." And she coughs and like, "And Jacob knew it." And she starts coughing more. And Malcolm goes, "It's time. He's calling us for dinner." It's like, "Let's not keep him waiting then." And you see later that dinner. "So to remember the name of the restaurant, do you recall? This would have been, half a century ago now? More?" It's like, "Monroe's." "That's right, where we went to celebrate the cracking, the telemetry decay, celebrate cracking the telomere decay issue. Wasn't that different than this, was it, around the table, I mean? Myself, you, Malcolm there, James Mann where Joanna is, then Bethany in Young Forever's place." And Joanna's like, "Dr. Hawk, if we can discuss..." He goes, "We cannot, Miss Carlyle, not yet at least. We're going to finish dessert like the civilized animals we pretend to be, and then take our coffee to the lounge for a long overdue accounting of our sins." And Malcolm's like, "Yours included, I trust, Jacob?" He's like, "Oh, I assure you, Mal, I'll show you mine if you show us ours." So is this going to be he betrayed his partners in crime, so to speak, and kept the immortality, like whatever experiments he done forever to himself? And you hear Hawk going, "Please make yourselves comfortable. You'll forgive me, this is going to be a little old school." He's like, "We were friends once, weren't we, Malcolm? Back in the mists of time? I thought we were, at least. You acted like we were. You said we were." Ooh, what the fuck, bro? "You and me and Leah. Especially Leah." He's like, "Jacob. So do you think about her? Do you think about my sister? I think about her every day. I think about her and what you did to her." So it looks like his sister committed suicide, because it looks like she basically slit her throat, slit her wrist in the tub, and popped some prescription pills. Not a huge fan of the fridging implication of that, but we shall see what happens. We get to Fracture Chapter 3. And you see back at Sequoia, 8 is playing her shoot 'em up game. As James like, "Forever, bedtime in 10 minutes. Are you listening to me?" It's like, "I heard. Good night, James. Love you." It's like, "Love you too. Sleep well." As soon as she leaves, she just is like, her happy facade fades. She's like, "We're good. And you just died, by the way." It's like, "That would bother me more if this was real and I gave a damn. You have encrypt and go to live chat and keep playing." It's like, "Going secure." Nice. And you see that, they rigged up the gaming system so she could talk to Forever. She goes, "The timetable has changed." It's like, "When?" "Within the next 3 days or won't happen at all. There'll be no warning. You need to be ready." 8's like, "I am." We go back to Garden Island, Michigan. Yeah, that's how they found my sister. They think she'd been dead for 24 hours when they discovered her. She was a month shy of 24. And Joanna's like, "Doctor." It's like, "I'm being a poor host. I promised coffee and here we are with nobody served. Ladies, if you would." Just shy of 24, as I was saying. Not much older than you are now, I believe, Forever. Please, my dear, take a seat. Lord knows at my age I'm going to. And you see Malcolm saying no to the coffee. So is this what this is, Jacob? The war ends if I take responsibility for Leah's suicide? He's like, "It would be nice if you did, but we both know you won't." "No, this is what I want to end the hostilities, Malcolm, right here. This moment, this reckoning, this chance for the facts to come out." It's like, "Your truth, you mean?" He's like, "Facts, Malcolm, about you. Abigail knows, of course. Joanna suspects, but not Forever." It's about time she learned the kind of man her father truly is. Oh, fuck off. Motherfucking Hawk is the one that sent the goddamn message. Because as Forever's drinking her coffee in there, you see the top of the you are his. Oh, fuck. Is it gonna be that's like his fucking. Oh, my God. No, it can't be Hawk's daughter because they use a template. I don't know what the fuck this is going. Alright. He's like, we were gonna change the world for the better, remember? Tell me, Malcolm. Is it? Is it better? Oh, no, never mind. I'm pretty sure he sent the message, but the message inside the cup is not what I think it is. It's like, did we succeed? And as Forever drinks some more, you see the first line is, you are his slave. He's like, half the global population culled. People reduced to slavery in fact, if not in name. Institutional knowledge gone. Whole cultures annihilated. Governments reduced to rubble. Did we succeed? And Malcolm's like, I'm not done yet. And he goes, and there is the root of it, my dear ladies of Carlisle. Behold, Malcolm Carlisle, your Messiah. Oh my God, I can free father fucker. Born in humble poverty, the only child to... Is he going to try to say he can take out the telemetry package? Because I feel like that's what he's going for. Born in humble poverty, the only child to a single mother forced to work too hard for too little. Her son blessed with undeniable brilliance and questionable vision. Thus he thought to remake the world, but alas, he couldn't do it alone. He needed allies, he needed agents, but most of all, he needed pawns. And you know what happens to pawns, of course? They are sacrificed. Yeah, so the rest of the message is apparently, I can free you, trust me. And Forever just side-eyes Hawk as she goes, or they become queens. It's like, some indeed do, Miss Carlisle. And Joanna's like, this is all about you and his sister? Are you seriously telling me that's what all of this has been about? And Abigail's like, it's about much more than that, Joanna. There's a context then for all of us. Understand there were two things that brought us together, my sister, myself, and your father. The first was a hunger, a need to understand how things worked. For Leah and myself, this started very young and very literally, what made water, what made air. If that bottle and that chair were both made of plastic, why did one of them crumple in the hand but the other was virtually unbreakable? Your father's question was in its way even more material. It was about possession, it was about money. Why did so few have so much and so many have so little? Alright, again, I'm going to toss out a theory before the end. Because the whole thing about like him saying like, oh, he wants to be a messiah, I wonder if instead of the immortality thing, he wants to install the telemetry package inside everyone so he can basically control everyone's actions and everyone's thoughts and desires and stuff like that. I wonder if that's what his ultimate goal is. Like, why, for instance, did a woman without a husband have to work 3 jobs for pennies so she and her son could survive? All those books for babysitters, Malcolm. I've often wondered who you would have become without the free libraries to teach you. And he goes, I'd have been blessed with ignorance, Jacob. I wasn't so lucky. Yeah, so yes, 3 young people who had never met, possessed with questions every child is asked in one way or another, perhaps. But unlike all those other children, never finding an answer that satisfied. They shared as well the fact that they knew they were far smarter than just about anyone they'd ever met. Much smarter. This made them different. They, of course, were made to pay for this. Well, for a while at least. Until they figured out how to make others pay for it instead. And you see Columbus siblings fight cancer with chemistry. And you see Pfizer... You have Hawk siblings, Jacob 11 and Leah 13, selling a formula to big pharma, or selling a formula or two to big pharma, for instance, or publishing economic theory while still in high school to such acclaim that Ivy League schools were falling all over themselves courting its author. A full ride, of course. I have a very clear image of the day they met. Fall, of course, crisp and cool but not yet cold. A chance encounter, a meeting of the eyes, the inevitable awkwardness of 2 people not good with people, the hesitant striking up of conversation, the exchange of names, the minor details, the first joke, the first laugh, the connection. A chance meeting on Harvard Yard, the blossoming of young love. Well, that's how Leia made it sound at least. Care to correct any of the details, Malcolm? And he goes, we had coffee. I'd never just asked a girl out before. She had a latte, one of those chai ones. I just had coffee. It's like, I'm surprised you remember. It's like, of course I remember. It's like 8 decades you've let me wonder what was real and what wasn't. Don't get indignant now if I doubt your sincerity. And Joanna's like, oh, for fuck's sakes. You were the other woman? Well, it was a love triangle, except not the way I thought it was. And Abigail's like, yes. He was doing his postdoc in London at the time. He was already worth several billion by then. And he was so very interested in my research. So very eager to help fund it. I didn't think to ask why until it was too late. And Hawk's like, a mistake we both made, Abigail. And Joanna's like, you were researching longevity? It's like, that was only a part of it. There was more. Much more. And Joanna's like, I don't understand. You worked together for years. If your sister committed suicide because of... It's like, why would I have done so? It's like, yes. It's like, it wasn't as if your father showed up to her funeral with your mother on his arm. I didn't know, you see. I thought it was loneliness, despair even. Your father at school in London and me at school in California, and her alone during a Boston winter. I blame myself. For a very long time, I blame myself. And Joanna's like, what happened? What really happened with this sister, with Leia? It's like, I broke it off badly. I needed Abby, and if I had Jacob, then I didn't need Leia. I was living in London, made an excuse to fly back to the States on business. I thought I'd surprise Leia with the visit, ease into it. But when I got there, I found I couldn't lie to her. Not like that. I told her it was over. That was the last time I saw her. And she's like, I didn't know what she would do. I didn't know she would take her own life. And Forever asks, how did you find out? And he's like, and Hawk goes, you mean when? She's like, both. It's about your father and Jacob's sister. That was me. It's Abigail talking, saying that was years later. It was after the twins had been born. We'd started the work that would lead to you. I was packing up the house for the move to Center. That was how I found the letters. Paper and ink. I suppose there were emails too, but I never saw those. I knew what they were immediately. It'd been the same with your father and me. I thought his letters were so romantic, but here were the letters Leia had sent him. Pictures too, some of her and Jacob and your father, some just her and Malcolm. Some the kind of thing you send when you're young and in love. I knew who she was. I knew she and your father had been together. But it had ended before he met me. Had been over a long time, that's what he'd said. He'd lied, and you see her confronting younger Malcolm. It's like she dated the letters, the things she said, she never knew about me. Not until he told her. That's how we broke it off. I'm sure he told her about me. And Hawk asks, what did you do with the body, Forever? It's like, what? Your brother's body, Jonah, at the conclave. We all know I didn't kill him. It's like, threw it into the North Sea, I imagine, but I've always wondered. Your father needed a bloody shirt to wave in front of the other families to get his war. So you ordered Forever to murder her brother, your youngest son, knowing she couldn't disobey, and then you blamed it on me. And Abigail's like, is that true? Yes or no, Malcolm, is that true? Did you make Forever murder her brother? It's like, just say it. I mean, I could hardly loathe you more than I do now. He's like, yes. It's like, well, turns out I could at that. And Hawk goes, you may think I bring this up because I enjoy twisting the knife, but that is not my point, believe it or not. He's like, oh, there's a point? It's like the one I made at the conclave, in fact. I called you a man who would murder his own son just to discredit me. The billions dead have never mattered to you. What are they but numbers? Part of your equations, profit and loss. But to kill your own son? That was when I saw it. Everything I'd done, everything I'd become, all to oppose you. I would turn left simply to spite you. I would turn left simply to spite you turning right. That was my hatred for you. You had me blind with it, which is what you wanted. You needed a villain. You needed an enemy. So I became yours. It was no accident that Abby found Leia's letters. You wanted her to tell me what you'd done to my sister. It's funny. We're here. So Malcolm stands up and goes, it's funny. We're here talking about what we remember. talking about Leah and love and family like it was yesterday and not the better part of a century ago. And yet none of you seem to remember what it was like, so permit me to remind you. It was the end of the world. Authoritarian regimes spreading unchecked, plutocracy instead of democracy, vox populi, not simply silenced but gagged. That was why there could never be revolution, you see. It wasn't that the wealthy had all the guns and all the governments and all the technology and all the law. They owned the communication, they owned the information. But instead of using their power for others, instead of at the least covering their asses like Carnegie and Rockefeller had done, they just took more and more and more. And because they owned the communication, they were applauded and emulated and worshipped for it. The bastards told us they owned our future and fucked the rest of us. Told us we couldn't do a damn thing about it. Climate and world on the brink of collapse, and every check and balance castrated or destroyed or bought. Not an extinction event, not the end of a species, not the end of civilization, but of life. Guiding us towards absolute annihilation. That was the world, and nobody who could stop it would, and those who would could not. Forcing us to stand witness as everyone we knew and loved was sacrificed on the altar of their greed. They could never be overthrown, so they had to be undermined. He goes, I had a plan. I did what the plan required. Forever was like, then you're lying. It's like, forever? It's like, you're lying. It's only a question about what. It's like, forever. It's like, you killed her. It's like, I said. It's like, no, not drove her to suicide. That's not how you work. You don't leave things to oh my fucking motherfucker. You don't leave things to chance. What if she'd called her brother after you'd entered it? Told him what you'd said? What if she wasn't willing to curl up and die because you'd broken her heart? You murdered her. Oh, this sick motherfucker. And you see that Malcolm indeed did what Malcolm went and, like, with gloves, injected her with something and staged the suicide. It's like, you had to be sure. And Joanna's like, loaded dice. I play to win. That's what you said. And Malcolm goes, very well reasoned forever. Now kill him and let's go. Oh, God damn. She just closed her eyes for a second and then with a furious face goes, no. He goes, I gave you an order, young lady. He served his purpose. We're done here. Kill him and let's be done with it. She goes, Father, go fuck yourself. And there's just a moment of silence and you see a clank. Oh, stupid motherfucker. As you see him arming his cane, which is a fucking hidden sword, and he tries to take out Hawk and forever intercepts the shot and smacks him with a backhand and lays him out. Where the hell did she get the hammer from? Oh, sorry, it's the cane. She took the cane, ripped the cane out of his arm, smacked him, laid him out. And you hear, will you help me? And Hawk goes, on my sister's memory, Miss Carlyle, you have my word. It's like, take my mother and get out of here now. And Abigail's, you have to come with us. It's like, I have something to do first. And Malcolm's like, you stupid girl. You stupid, stupid girl. You fucking went and freed her. It's like, she did. I'm not your tool anymore. I'm not your slave. I'm free. And if I push right here just hard enough, I'll punch a hole through whatever you have instead of a heart. To be honest, I'm having a hard time thinking of a reason why I shouldn't. And Joanna's like, don't, please. It's like, please don't. I did everything I promised you. Everything you asked, I did it all. Do this for me. Please, forever. Just this one thing. Please. Joanna, I don't know why the fuck you're saying this, but I hope there's some reason behind it. You see, back at Compound Sequoia, you hear a deet, 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 deet as Marisol's getting all geared up, and you see an encrypted message saying, stand to. Now she makes her way out. She goes to Forever's room. Forever's like in a battle post ready. It's like, oh, sorry, I thought. It's like, come on. And you hear her in Beth's room, but not responding. It may be a comms issue. We have standing orders to shoot down. It's like, did you try reaching either of them directly? It's like, yes, doctor, no response. It's like, all right, I'm granting permission to access their personal transponders. We should be able to verify they're aboard. So what was that about? It's like they're tracking Joanna's, or I should say my father's jet, 3 minutes out. But Center didn't tell us they were coming. They're not responding to radio, and they're about to enter the no-fly zone. And James is like, they're threatening to shoot down your father and sister? It's like, Forever was with them. We can check her telemetry. It's like, Doctor, reading both transponders aboard the aircraft. It's like, so it must be a mechanical. It's like, notify me as soon as they land, please. And you hear, Kara Alpha Sequoia Greytop, please respond. You have Colin Hartley, Major Lou, respond. It's like, we verified transponder code for HOF and her father. You are clear to land, Pat Alpha. Oh, God. And you see that she's dug out the transmitters for, I assume, Malcolm and Joanna. And Forever's got in the planes. Like, ICLT under 2 minutes. Kara Alpha Sequoia Greytop, Colonel Hartley, Major Lou, respond. And you see, be advised, your approach, if you're receiving, you are steep and too fast. Kara Alpha just heading. It's like, Jesus Christ, they're gonna... Oh, you see Forever setting on a collision course. Fuck, they're gonna crash. Sound the alarm there. And you see back in the compound, you have asking, where are the guards? Like, on the other side, smarty pants. Like, tell me why. It's like, because their job's to keep people out, not to keep me in. It's like, got it in one. Should be any second. It's like, and you are hanging back, understood? Indicate. She's like, yeah, I heard. And you see as a giant explosion as the plane comes in for a crash landing. And he's like, what the fuck was that? Marisol! You see Marisol taking out the 2 guards on duty. It's like, you should have let me go first. It's like, guess I should have. We're going to need their grenades. It's like, on it. And you see, out the fire suppression system. We're going to need hoses. The cockpit is over there. We got to check it. No way anyone survived that, Sarge. No way. It's like, that fucking well may be, Kitlin, but until we find the bodies, we're going to act like this is a rescue. Not a goddamn recovery. Start there. We got to get this out before it spreads. It's like, you, trooper, stand at attention. Oh, and you see Forever just sneaking out of the wreckage and going inside. You have, Commander. It's like, I'm commandeering your ordnance. Aye, aye, Commander. It's like, carry on. It's like, aye, aye, ma'am. She steals his gun and his weapons. Makes her way down the elevator. You have, can you get to it? So we're trying, but the way these fires are spreading, and the transponders, both signals have gone dead, Doctor. But it's like, I want updates every 5 minutes. Security has indicated they want to evacuate me. If so, contact me on direct. Yes, Doctor. It's like, God almighty, both transponders? You know what that means. It's like, Beth, it's like they're transponders, not telemetry. Steven and I have the damn things too. It's so we can be located if Vaslovka or whoever kidnaps us or kills us. Father had them inserted in all of us after Joan ran away in 64. If they've gone dead, that doesn't mean Joe and Father are. Just that they've stopped working for whatever reason. It's like in a plane crash. It's like, I don't think so. But even so, Forever's telemetry would still be online. It's designed to allow us to find her even if she dies. And there you go, she's fine. Everything in the green. And you see Forever just bashing her way down into the body part reserve in the basement. As James is like, yeah, but where? And you see it here. She's here. I'm sorry, it's such a fucking sick ass panel. It's so good. So good. Ah, God, I love it. And you see Forever just tossing some grenades into there. She destroys all of it. And you see Marisol and 8 doing the same in the medical bay headquarters as well with all of 8's information. Oh, burn it all to the ground. Yo, what the hell just happened? It's like, it just went down. Telemetry just... You're Dr. Carlisle. It's like, I'm here. We've got reports of explosions and fires in Zone Alpha 1. It's like, that's the Lazarus lab. The crash was in Delta, part of Epsilon, nowhere near. It's like, James, shut up. It's like, there's been a breach on Kappa. Both sentries on the security lock are dead. They were stabbed. But it's like, put the facility into lockdown. Stand by for further orders. You have, yes, Doctor. And she pulls out like a mini Derringer. It's like, oh my God. But we fixed it. We fixed her conditioning. It's like, apparently we didn't. It's like, deploy a team. They can take her. It's like, James, the only thing any team can do against her is die. And you see outside, it's like, where is everybody? It's like either in lockdown or an emergency response for the fires. Let's get the pre-flight on that when you see them heading out to the airstrip. As Forever runs up, it's like, Marisol, everything according to plan? It's like, by the numbers, it's like 7. And you see H is going to give her a hug. It's like, you're okay? You're okay? It's like, later, ladies, clock is running. It's like, clock just ran out. And you see a bunch of soldiers heading out as Forever says, don't. Get prepped for your takeoff. And you see Beth and James heading out. She goes, don't be stupid. You'll all die. And she goes, Father and Joe? It's like, alive. It's like, that was generous of you. It's like, I'm not a monster. It's like, no, you're not. And she sees Eve and Marisol taking off in the jet as she drops the gun and goes, "We, on the other hand." It's like, "Some more than others." It's like, "I think you're trying to be kind to me. I don't think I've earned it. He'll find you, you know that. You're the only thing that matters to him." It's like, "Goodbye, Beth. Goodbye forever." James is like, "No, you can't let her just leave. You've got to stop her. Shoot her." It's like, "James, like, he'll blame us." It's like, "James, calm down." It's like, "No, not both of them. He'll blame us. He'll say it was us." Oh, fucking knew it. And Forever's like, "Don't." It's like, "He'll say it was us. We did it." It's like, "You've got to calm." He picks up the gun and shoots Beth in the stomach. He's like, I didn't. It wasn't." And you see the soldiers just shooting him down. As Forever gets in the jet and they just take off. Oh, shit. Alright. I was going to stop, but those revelations were too good to stop at that point. So, alright, quick thoughts, because I don't want to run this video too long. That was a hell of a packed volume. Like, so much happened. Like, we got so much exposition, but fleshed out a lot of the history, and it's just like, it's a lot to parse and take in. But again, the split reveal of like, oh, you know, Hawk is still a dick. I'm not going to say like Hawk is completely like innocent and blameless for all this, but the reversal on the fact that, you know, Carlisle Malcolm is kind of, you know, the big evil, so to speak. I don't think I was completely expecting that, because we knew he was a dick, but I don't think we really understood the extent of how much of a dick exactly he was. But oh my god, like it was such a perfect setup with Joanna having her speech about the loaded dice, how he rigs the game, to then doing the fake out with the sister suicide, being like, oh, you know, was there anything mysterious behind everything, with the reverse of like, no, he set it up because he needed them to be on his side, because he needed their resources to enact whatever grand plan he has. That was very, very well done, very beautifully done. Just exceptionally done well, great. Like I said, I can't even remember which volume it was when I first started theorizing that, but I called the fact that it was based on the mother so long ago. So happy I got confirmation on that. The validation from that is really, really good. Again, I love how well portrayed Eve is at, you know, being the little, like, I love how well they portrayed 8 as being just like a teenage kid with like the jumping on the rocks and like swinging on stuff, and just like the energy and the excitement, and all just like matches a teenager so well. That was really, really a good bit of characterization that I really liked a lot. So that was really well done. I love the big sister, little sister relationship between her and Forever, especially with her being like, oh, you know, it's like, how can you not watch this show? And like trying to share like all her interests and everything was really adorable. I have to wonder what Joanna's longer term plan is, because I cannot buy that Malcolm will trust her or believe that she had nothing to do with Forever's betrayal, or she didn't like assist with that in any way. So I'm curious as to what she's planning to do at Malcolm's side, or why she wants to keep him alive. That might just be because she wants to know what his, you know, his grand plan, his bigger scheme is, so she can find out how to counter it, I suppose. But yeah, it'll be interesting that now that Forever's basically defected to Hawk, it'll be interesting to see what happens. I feel like the next volume is absolutely going to have to deal with the fact they need to find a way to get rid of her telemetry. Malcolm's lost a bunch of his forces, so I wonder if he's going to be making some deals or acquisitions in the next volume to try to build back his forces or stuff. But yeah, jam-packed volume, so much happened in there. Absolute banger from start to finish. Like, this delivered on so much setup. Cannot wait to see more of it. But yeah, I'm looking for it. Like, yeah, we'll talk about Jonah stuff later, because I do sympathize with him, but I'm more curious about what's going to happen once he gets back into the story. So I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, We'll get back to Lazarus again in a couple of months, but in the meantime, I hope you all did enjoy this video, even if it is a little bit longer than normal. As I mentioned at the beginning, as always, if you like my content, please do like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, because YouTube's algorithm really loves it when you push those buttons. But yeah, until next time, this is Ash. I'll talk to you all later.